Oh, exalted one. All right. All right, we're back. We're sorry, Facebook, for not having the audio, but we believe the audio is good on YouTube, so.
We apologize to
right?
the 3 people
No,
listening on
it wasn't
Facebook
anything.
that couldn't
Yeah.
hear.
Well, it's. I guess I'll have to watch the
Facebook
reels.
people, can you hear me?
If the audio cuts out again, you'll just have to go back to not applying for jobs. I don't know who.
So anyway,
Watching this. Yeah.
what I ordered was the Kid's Guide to President Trump. We got the pictures up on the screen, Kevin. And it was $2 for shipping and handling. They sent me 3 things: the Kid's Guide to Democrats and Republicans, and this one's pretty funny. And the Kid's Guide to the Courage of the President. And they have Washington, Lincoln, Reagan, Roosevelt, and Trump on the cover.
Obama?
No, he's black.
Yeah.
No, that would not work. That would not be good for this. Anyway, those son of a bitches charged me $34 6 weeks later. Because these other two, these were $17 a piece. 6 weeks later.
If anything's worth $17.
Oh yeah, no, because you learn a lot here.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's pretty amazing. They talk about how great President Trump is,
Yeah.
and what Democrats stand for. They stand for open borders, social justice over equal opportunity, massive government programs and spending, and taxing success. Look at this kid does not look happy about Democrats taxing success. I don't know what's going on in America. I don't. And I like to think of myself as fairly reasonable and a political guy, and I love politics, and I find it very interesting. And maybe that's why I'm probably, more into this than I ever have been, because of this kind of shit. The Russian stock market going crazy today, our stock market not going so crazy. Canada writing laws, signing a bunch of laws today to get our shit off their shelves. I mean, where are we going?
Did I see that?
What the fuck's the Democrats doing? What are they doing?
Well, when they wake up, they're going to
Did we have a bake sale?
Are
Did
they
the
gonna
Democrats
really
have a
have
bake sale?
Oh, that's right. We need a bake sale.
Yeah. Did I read that Canada was doing, like, geographically specific tariffs, like Florida?
Yeah,
Orange?
red states.
Yeah.
The guy in BC's
That's
like,
pretty badass.
we're not buying
I'll
shit from
be
red
honest.
states.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Oh, it's crazy. I mean,
Well, don't worry, Ed. I'm sure that you and I, the consumer, won't take it in the shorts when this trade war gets off.
Oh, hell no.
I just want you to know us Democrats we're very distressed about this. That's
Yeah.
what you should know.
You look like it.
Yeah.
You look like you're just really stressed out.
Yeah. We're organizing,
Yep,
goddammit.
exactly.
Well, you got to have the bake sale first and figure out where you're going to have your next meeting and what you're going to have for
Fundraising emails
lunch.
will be out at midnight tonight.
Okay, midnight tonight. That's that's a good time for that. But I don't think I've ever seen a kid's guide to any president ever.
Yeah, I don't know.
I've never seen anything like this in my life.
This looks unbiased.
Yeah, it sure. Yes, he's a model of courage, that man.
Yes.
I mean,
Unique vision and inner courage of Donald Trump.
Do you not see this stuff in North Korea? Wouldn't you think everybody gets shit like this? I don't know.
Dude, North Korean kids would not believe this shit.
Yeah, they probably wouldn't believe it either. You're right. Yeah, but it just seems like this is not very. I don't know what the fuck it is. Okay, I don't. It's blowing my mind. But if anybody wants to peruse these, they'll be here at the bar for you to learn
This is
from.
called Coke-funded propaganda, my friend.
Yeah, I'm on the list now because I want to be.
He's deep undercover.
Well, it's bad. It's crazy shit. I mean, and I don't know how many kids are reading this. I mean, I'm sure. Well, every kid in Kalispell, more than likely. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Speaking of Kalispell, that kid that killed the homeless person.
Yes, I do.
Were you involved in that case at all?
No, I was not.
You were not.
Nope.
Ryan's a public defender, works for the county.
No,
I don't know why he does
state.
this for the state. It's kind of weird. But he got, from what I hear, he's going to serve 12 years more than likely with good time.
Yeah, I think so it's what's called a split recommendation. So he entered a plea of guilty to deliberate homicide, and his legal team is asking for 40 years in the Montana State Prison with 20 of that suspended. meaning he would serve a 20-year sentence followed by 20 years probation.
Yep.
And the state is requesting a 40-year sentence to the Montana State Prison with a parole restriction of 15 years. So in Montana, you know, if you get 10 years in prison, you're eligible for parole in 25% of that time.
Oh, what?
Yep.
2.5 years. So you can go killing again.
Well, the state is asking for a 15-year hard parole restriction, so meaning he wouldn't even be eligible.
Oh, so it's not settled then. It's still going on. We don't know what his real
so
sentence is.
they'll make the pitch, and then the judge can decide.
Okay, who's the judge on that?
I think it's Judge
Sullivan?
Albright. Judge Heidi Albright.
Okay. Damn, dude, crazy.
Are the county commissioners showing up to lobby for leniency?
Oh.
He's just a boy.
I think they donated to his defense. Yeah. I bet they did. Oh, that's bad to say. That's fucking bad.
We want to hire this kid.
I mean,
that's not bad. That's accurate,
it's
my
probably
friend.
accurate. You're right. They hate the fucking homeless people, boy. They are horrible
He's gonna be
people.
running Talos security.
Oh, God. Okay, so there's been a lot of hullabaloo about the town halls the Republicans are having. In fact, they're being told not to do them anymore. Mm-hmm. But, of course, conservative media is telling you this is all...
Could you just second, dream for a second. Dream of a Zinke Town Hall in Kalispell right now. Dream of that.
Oh, that would be great.
Dream of that.
Well, in Kalispell, they love them. They hate everything about
there'd
whitefish.
be 500 people show up skewering that dude.
You really think?
Yeah.
You think so?
Yep.
Well, then where are these people when it comes to the election time? I'm going to be honest. I know they don't vote. A lot of them don't vote at all. But, so anyway, you know, you've got a lot of people talking about the Democratic operatives now again. Every time something like this happens, it's Democratic operatives.
Is this Antifa?
Can I stop for a second?
Maybe. I bet they're involved.
So people are basically saying all these big town halls, like the deep state and the Democrats and Soros are infiltrating these town halls. Like, I have been associated with Democratic Party, and let me give you a little news flash. We can't organize a goddamn rock fight, okay? So what is it? What is it? We either rule the world with some nefarious fourth degree of, like, jiu-jitsu ninja shit, or we can't organize a rock fight. Can't have both of them.
And that's true.
And the truth is, we can't organize a rock fight.
I've always thought that, especially about, you know, Hillary Clinton's the big bad guy, and, you know, she's got her finger in every pie.
Nasty woman.
And she's so wicked, and she's so cunning and conniving,
Yes.
and so are the Democrats. Then why do they always fucking lose?
I don't know. If the deep state was a real thing, Trump would be fucking dead.
Right.
Sorry. I don't know what to say
it.
about that, but it's the conspiracy shit it's fucking weird. It's very alive, and Trump keeps alive. Yesterday or the day before, and I don't really listen to Joe Rogan, but I do see the clips on the TikTok and stuff. Elon Musk is on there. Now, they are actually starting a conspiracy that CNN knew about Trump's assassination. I mean, what in the world? I mean, the conspiracy to me is like, the ketchup packet, you know, like that's more believable that he set it up. I mean, to me, then CNN had something to do with it, and they're into this. And it's like they're stoking these fears of these conspiracies, and it's never, that shit, I just wish
I
would
would
go
argue
away.
CNN wants him alive, don't they?
CNN knew about this? When was
That's
this printed? It was probably printed before he was shot.
Probably, yeah, it probably was.
Right.
Yeah. But, you know, we remember back Obamacare, 2000, whatever. When did he win it?
He signed Obamacare in March of 2010.
So
ACA.
the town halls,
Yep.
you know, the Tea Party, that's when they started. And they infiltrated, and they did it. And they went to all these Democrat senator town halls, raised a ruckus, we all knew it, whatever. You know, you didn't really see the Democrats calling them plants because it was obvious they weren't plants. They were just being assholes, you know?
So you and I talked about this a little bit before, but for all the people who have hope for our nation, I want to run through a little bit of history here. 2008, Obama runs on the ACA, the Affordable Care Act, and they jam it through. It was hard. They used reconciliation. Republicans fought it. He signed it in March of 2010. 70-some million Americans benefited from a health care program. And in that midterm, 8 months after he signed it, Democrats lost 63 seats in the midterm. 63. Okay?
That's a lot. That's a
We
huge
now
number.
have a situation where a president ran on God knows what. I'm not even sure what the campaign was about. But the idea of Doge and cutting federal agencies and making the national park not work and shutting down your Forest Service campgrounds and firing 80,000 people from the VA, That shit did not even exist. It was not even a glimmer in anybody's eye until after the election. The idea of Doge did not even come up till 2 weeks after the election. So when people say, well, he voted for this, bullshit. Doge did not even exist until after the election. And so I am telling you, think of Obama lost 63 seats when he jammed through a program that 70 million people benefited from in 2010. If Democrats don't win 70 seats in the House after this shit that nobody voted for and is going to destroy the economy in Montana and the VA and the National Park Service and the U.S. Forest Service and on and on and on and on, shame on us, man. Shame on us.
Yeah. I mean, to me, so in my opinion, they're doing everything they can to get as much money as they can for these super rich people because I think they got 2 years.
Who's they?
The Republicans, like Trump and the oligarchs, you know. And again, we're going to go over what an oligarch is for most of the conservatives out there, people in the Flathead Valley. I'm positive they don't know what that is. You know, we know it's a long word, it's a weird word.
Have you noticed they haven't cut a single program that Elon needs?
No, but they did get rid of the people investigating him in every way.
Well, I think I said this a couple weeks ago. It appears to me like my definition, and probably everyone else's definition of government fraud and waste, is wildly different than Elon's, because it appears to be just any government contract that isn't going to him or his companies directly is fraud and waste.
Scrutiny. Yep. Yeah.
And I'm just glad we got Biden out of there and we get these unelected bureaucrats.
They need to run the
Get them out of there.
Yeah, right. I know.
Those days are done.
Well, okay, the hypocrisy we know is real in both parties. It's politics. It's daily life. Yeah, people are just hypocrites. Okay, and when it works for them, it works for them.
I don't know if you can both sides that. I mean,
well, I'm now listen. I can read my crowd. But we can't say a Democrat's never been a hypocrite.
Well,
I'm just saying that the Republicans are winning this race in a major way.
You know, imagine if, Biden or Obama or whoever installed George Soros as the head of this shadow government agency that was in charge of.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Soros ran the White House.
I know.
So he was the puppet master for sure.
I genuinely think we'd have a civil war.
Oh yeah,
Like,
for sure.
Crazy.
If he was on stage with Kamala,
Right.
I mean, like Elon was, and that's another thing. As a regular person, as an American, as just somebody, you see somebody running it for an office to be the most powerful guy in the world, with the richest guy in the world sitting next to him, and you're Joe Schmo at home, with your wife beater on, going like, yeah, that's what I like to see.
Well,
the richest motherfucker in the world next to our goddamn president. How is that? People love that.
It's like I told
you.
Who
votes for a guy that thinks a Cybertruck looks cool? How's that possible?
Yeah.
I will say the interior is beautiful, but other than that,
how is that possible?
I don't know.
Well, it's like I told you, Ed. I don't know if it was on the show where we were just talking. Essentially, what's happened with Trump and Musk is, a large majority of the country has fallen in love with the stripper.
Yes.
Right.
Fall in love with the stripper.
The
one that's
the
never
going to
love them back.
Think about it where it's like they don't like you, they don't care.
It's her
about
birthday
you.
and she's working her way through college.
It's like they don't like you, they don't care about you. You're telling me that these guys like
strippers.
Zuckerberg and Musk and Bezos amassed, they've got to be close to $1 trillion.
All three of them together, they're very close.
And now that they've each got $400 billion, their goal in life is to help the working.
Yeah, why wouldn't they?
I mean, it just seems silly.
I trust that 1,000%.
Very silly.
Barkeep, we might need around here for the boys.
It seems the stripper will take your money.
Yes.
Is that how that works?
Yes.
And if you get super drunk and stuff and fall asleep, they'll probably take more than you wanted to give them. I don't know that for a fact.
She doesn't love you. She doesn't
I
care
just know it
about
happens.
you. Yes.
Well, I think that's a great analogy.
That's
I
how
do.
I feel.
I never thought of it that way, but it is that way. And these people, my opinion is they're kind of blinded by this. And, I guess it's their.
Those are not strippers, by the way. They're adult interpretive dancers.
Yeah, right.
Oh, yeah. You're damn right they are. And none of them better have a package under there.
But it's something that's very interesting to me that you see all across the country. People, and maybe I talked to you about this on the old podcast. I think it's a John Steinbeck quote.
Yes,
where he says,
you did.
Something about the right wing in America are just temporarily frustrated millionaires.
Yes.
The quote is something
like that. Yep.
I've talked to people, so I think Amazon Prime is $140 a year now. Something like that.
Wow.
Whatever. And Now with Prime Video,
Netflix is $17 a week, a month.
With the Amazon Prime Video, you have to pay another $3 a month to get it commercial free.
Yes.
And I remember bitching about that to someone, and they said to me, "Well, Amazon's got to make money somehow." And it's like, that's the side you fall on. That's what's so interesting. to me.
Okay, I know.
It's like,
I mean,
well, Bezos has got to earn a living.
I get freedom.
He's got to have another penis rocket.
Right.
Yeah, he does. He needs one of them. 2 of them. Okay.
Paid for by us, by the way.
I can say yes, and he's not paying taxes. No, for sure, paid for by us. But
Have you seen his wife? I mean, she's having some surgery done.
yeah, I think so.
It's not cheap.
And they're in
No.
love. It has
Is it-
nothing
oh.
to do with
It has nothing to do with
They're in
money.
love.
Not at all.
Love.
No, just like when
He's just a really interesting guy.
who was that? Anna Nicole Smith that married that. or-
Exactly. It happens all the time.
happens
The heart
all the
wants
time.
what the heart wants.
I get we're capitalists, free market.
I get it.
People should be able to make as much money, and this is the argument you get from very poor people that vote Republican. You know, people get to make as much money and they have their life. You know, I don't care if you're rich or poor. Yes, it's capitalism, but I'm sorry if it sounds socialist and fucked up. But
boy.
Jesus Christ,
So I
when you're
love
hundreds
this.
of billions of dollars, you're not helping anybody.
I love this stat. So if you ask almost all MAGA voters, what does again mean? Like, what is the decade of again? Make America great again. What is that decade? Most of them say like 1950, 1960.
Probably. Well,
do you know what the top marginal
maybe a
tax?
little earlier.
Do you know what the top? Yeah, 1939. Do you know what the top marginal tax rate in the United States was in 1955?
On corporations?
95%?
90
No,
what?
personal.
Oh, personal.
Personal top marginal income tax rate in 1955 was 91%.
91.
91. Right, we understood that the basic social contract was you didn't get to screw up the wealth distribution in this country.
Right.
And then because we didn't allow it.
No.
It was a 91%. And so when we say again, I want to know, do they really mean again?
Well, Henry Ford was the 6th richest person in the entire world in like 1948, 42, or whatever. It was after the war, I believe. But Ford was taxed at a 95% corporate tax rate, and he was still the 6th richest person in the whole world. And at that time, I think the top 5 are all people selling oil and shit, you know, like
Rockefeller.
yeah. But that's crazy to me, you know, like now you've got guys that are making hundreds of billions of dollars, getting subsidies, government welfare, and not paying taxes. And you have Democrats and Republicans being like, oh, fuck it, why should they pay?
Yeah.
What? I mean, I don't hear Democrats, you know, except Bernie Sanders.
I give everybody a little bit of armor and ammo here, right? If you think about a person that makes $1 billion, they utilize the services and the infrastructure that we all help build infinitely more than we all do, right?
Right.
So they use the court system, the road system, the airport system, the FAA, everything. They use it way more than any of us do. Why shouldn't you pay more for that, right?
I don't know. I don't know. I think you should.
Because when my ship comes in, I
Yeah,
want
'cause
those taxes low.
You're right. Okay.
All right.
Okay, I'm glad you brought that up
Yeah.
because that's a real thing. It is.
Tomorrow.
Studies.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Oh, we got a sweetie waitress
When I get that
now.
winning lotto ticket,
What'd you just say? I forgot.
I said,
Brian
when
was
my,
so hot,
I said
just
when
took-
my ship comes
Oh, yeah.
in,
Okay, that's a real thing.
taxes low.
That's a real thing that people do believe that. They believe that, you know, they can be very poor and very uneducated. And
Temporarily frustrated millionaires.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. You know, and I guess if you think these super wealthy people are gonna, you know, make your life that much better, but God, have some common sense, you know. But there isn't. And I'm really not trying to make fun of people, or I mean, I guess I do sometimes. But in this case, no. It's a. I think if some people have the ability to kind of I don't know what you got to do. I don't know. I know the Democrats don't know. I know independents don't know. Like, there's got to be some way that people can look at this stuff through some kind of different, like, I don't know. I'm thinking of like a Black Mirror episode, actually. I'm getting deep right now.
Well, look, I mean, a lot of what we deal with now is a result of policy choices and people we've elected, right? I mean, we decided that we would let people have $1 trillion.
Right.
Yes,
And
you're
we
right.
decided that.
Seems bad.
That's not something that has to exist.
Seems
That's-
bad.
But it seems bad. In a time when we're cutting hundreds of Forest Service employees
Thousands. Oh, hundreds from us.
Hundreds in Montana in a time when we're already underfunded, when we're going to cut 80,000 jobs from the VA, 80,000 from servicing doctors and
there's
nurses.
a backlog for everything with the VA.
Right. Like,
How's that going to get better?
And we have allowed trillionaires, right?
Yeah.
Those two things do not seem to be like those two things are in opposition to each other.
My client
They should
lost
be.
her toes last month. She's
No.
homeless,
What?
Kalispell.
Froze?
Yeah, just out in the elements.
Why
and
was she? What made her a criminal?
She lost her
Homelessness?
toes. It's all just chicken shit, trespass, and petty thefts, things
And
like that.
And these people are just going to stay in that system.
Yeah,
right?
and, back to your point about how you don't want to make fun of anyone. It's very
Yes.
fascinating to me that almost all the people I represent, indigent population in Flathead County, Lincoln County, Sanders County, Lake County,
Wow, all 4 counties?
love Trump.
I know they love him.
Love him.
And they don't have a pot to
Right.
piss
And I
in.
don't really care either way, but it's just fascinating to
It
me.
is. I think it's fascinating.
I had jail, so we have jail run at my office. So there's 12 of us, 12 lawyers, meaning every 12 days you go to the county jail in the morning, you talk to everyone that got picked up the night before, you
Yeah.
advise them of their rights, you call people if, call my boss, tell them I might be late. I remember talking to a guy the day after the election and was like, hey, my name's Ryan, how's it going? And he's like, it's great, man. This is through plexiglass. He's like, it's great, man. And I was like, what? And he's like, we won. Dude, he won. And I was like, what? He's like, Trump won. I was like, okay.
That's actually a fascinating story, and it makes me think, like, that's on Democrats, man.
Yeah.
You know what?
That is on
Yes.
Democrats.
A lot of this shit's on fucking Democrats. I've been trying to say that and not in a nice way, and it's really hard. I've been involved with a lot of, Democrats and man, and I'm telling you, these are some of the nicest people I know. But nice isn't winning, and I don't know how you turn that. I don't because
When they go low, we go high.
no. So we have to go fucking lower, okay? Sure. I think we have to. I think we've got to accept. I have some jokes that liberals I think should. Well, maybe not yet. We're gonna let this go a couple weeks. See how this whole thing turns out. Why don't we get to our segment? Brad's Black at it again.
Oh.
So when asked to comment about Black History Month, Flathead County Commissioner Brad said what?
Yeah, Brad said Black history, they're gone. I'm on board.
Oh, he thought they were all gone.
Yeah, there's
oh
like, no, Brad,
God.
we're celebrating the culture.
Oh
He said,
my
oh,
God!
yeah,
Oh
sorry.
no!
I misunderstood.
Poor Brad.
I know.
He can't get anything right lately.
I feel bad for him.
We'll keep it a little more local. Steve Quinnell, you want to come up here with us for a minute? Share the table with us before we get Mike Jopek up here.
Local bureaucrat.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Who's your favorite oligarch? Huh? Mike Gogan.
I saw the new truck.
So,
you
like,
pulled up in.
are you on Team Soros?
Oh, he sure is.
That's a tough question.
I can smell the
There's so
patchouli
many
from
to
here.
choose from now.
Right.
Did you get those Billy Streams tickets? I'm just wondering.
Yeah, Savannah, April
Nice.
11th and
Savannah,
12th.
Georgia. Sweet home, Georgia. So the city council is pretty boring these days. It has been for a while. There's no real no crazy shit going on in Whitefish.
Yeah.
But they did discuss the pay for the city council. Like, I've advocated for them to make a lot of money, so like a regular person could be on city council. Like, I'm saying 30, 40 grand so you could have a part-time job and really take it seriously. Okay, most of our council don't agree with me. Apparently,
Not that
they're
you
going
don't
to
take
get.
it seriously now, Steve.
Yeah. So, Steve, they settled
Did
on
you take it seriously, Hennon, when you were
I
there?
did.
$3,000
For
a
free,
year.
mind you.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
free. You did it for free.
Yeah, for free.
That was a
We
hard.
discussed back pay, but they said no, not if Hennon gets paid.
Right.
Yeah,
Anyone
absolutely.
but that son of a
That's
bitch.
smart ass.
He never,
We're so
he never
fucking
turned
glad
his
he's
camera on
gone.
during
Yeah,
COVID.
right.
His camera was always off during COVID.
If he shows
Yeah.
up, arrest him. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember you were off of council when you made that statement about Mountain Gateway, weren't you?
I think so, yeah.
You didn't give a fuck about waiting till the end. You went up there in the very beginning, said your shit. Like,
Yeah.
It was
I'm,
the same
I'm Ryan
meeting-
Hennon. I'm
it
talking
was
when
the
I
same
want.
meeting that we said goodbye to you. You said, now that I'm a citizen, you came around to the podium
Yep.
and made your statement.
Yep.
Yeah, that was.
Mr. Jones.
That was, yeah. You know what? Mr. Jones still has the big yellow sign in front of his fucking gate on Big Mountain Road that says private property. It's as big as this wall. He's got a big gate. That kind of should tell you. But again, I think, these ultra wealthy people, their mentality is they do not give a fuck about you.
No.
And this is what we have going on in government right now. I mean, it is. And I think that's kind of proof of it. When you drive by this guy's house every day, he's got this big yellow sign in this beautiful, forest that you're driving to go to the peaceful ski hill and go, smoke your weed and stuff, what the hippies do, like Steve up there. But you got to see this big yellow sign.
He
And
just
he's got
doesn't
this
want
massive-
cross-country skiers on his property. That's all it's really about. He doesn't like cross-country skiers making the wrong turn and coming up his road.
He can afford to have somebody sit down there with a fucking pellet gun then. Take the yellow sign down.
If
That's
there's
just
ever
insane.
been a group of people to be concerned about, it is cross-country skiers.
Amen. Amen. I've been saying it for years.
Yeah.
Seriously, we've got to
Violent.
get them under control.
Yeah.
Get
Violent
Brad Abel
crowd.
on that shit.
Right.
Oh,
Pretty wild.
yes, you're right. We should. Anyway, Steve, so what happened? Who are the people? There were some people. I think Beth Sobo made a comment about it. Like, people were a little, pissed. Like, where do you get off thinking you deserve to get paid for this? Like, what? Like, there's only 2 cities in Montana that don't pay their councils.
What's
Yeah.
the other one?
Troy?
No, I think Troy gets paid $20 a meeting or
It was
something.
Oh,
some-
shit. Troy
Yeah.
gets
Just so you know,
think
Troy
it's-
is more progressive than Whitefish.
Yeah, believe it or not, it is.
We're trying to catch up all the
So,
time.
but there's people that didn't want it to happen. Was there anything ridiculous? I
well,
didn't see it last night.
There was no public comment about it.
Oh, of
I think
course,
it's-
you keep that up-
It's
you
a
keep that
matter.
up.
It's going to happen. It's just a matter of time. It's going to boil. What it's going to boil down to is whether or not we're worth 92 cents a month to the citizens, or whether we're worth $1.01 per month to the citizens. And
Wow.
that's kind of what it's like. And so if you divide that by 7,
It's a big decision.
It's about 16 cents a month for me to be on council.
Well,
for the average homeowner. I think
I'd have to raise
hope-
my beer
I
prices.
like to think I'm worth it. I mean, I think as a high school teacher, it's about 7 cents a day.
From my
or 7
cold,
cents a
dead
month,
hands,
but,
Steve.
yeah, cold
That's
dead
16
hands.
cents from my cold.
I mean, if
dead
that doesn't inspire you to do a good job, I don't know what does.
Ryan, on anything else happening in the city? Nothing really right now.
nothing.
Not
well,
a
just
lot.
the growth policy is the biggest thing
Yeah,
that
that-
we're doing, and
yeah.
that's not city council. That's still at the community development board, and it's a little shaky. It's a little herky jerky.
Hey, did you read the President's Guide to Kids Guide to President Trump yet?
No, I'm on the blacklist. They wouldn't send me the
Oh,
copy of it.
I'll let you look at mine. It's fucking amazing.
I think this is going to be mandatory curriculum probably next year.
I am. I'm actually going to be teaching. I was telling Ryan and his wife earlier that I'm being moved into social studies next year at Flathead High School. So I'm really looking forward to that.
From computer science.
Well, I'll still be teaching computer science, but I'll pick up a couple social studies.
He'll be doing
classes,
3
so.
semesters on Andrew Jackson.
Yes, as you should.
Field trip to Hermitage. Really have fun with it.
I saw a Instagram the other day that Busse used the word Doge bag. I thought that was funny.
Thank you.
Did you come up with that?
No, I
Oh,
didn't.
God, I was hoping
want
you
to say
did.
I did. I was listening to the Pod Save guys.
Oh yeah,
The
Pod Save America.
podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just one of them ripped off Doge bag. I'm like, oh, that's
fuck.
perfect.
That's
That is
good.
perfect.
That was really funny.
Yeah.
So
They are like 19-year-old kids
I know.
going through your personal data. I'm sorry. That's a Doge bag.
You've had people just like we've had election officials come out after elections and say, "Listen, there's a Democrat and a Republican here. We're counting all the votes. There's no fucking fraud. It doesn't happen. Whatever." And of course, you got people that aren't going to believe them and all that kind of stuff. Now the Doge thing, people are 300 years old and they're cashing their security checks, Social Security checks. God, just on its face, that's dumb. It's so dumb.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't. So they have a guy that's the head of the funeral, association or whatever, saying no. When somebody's deceased, we absolutely have to fill out a form that goes to the federal government. I mean, if that problem's going to happen, it's going to happen now when they cut all these people reading those forms.
Yeah.
I mean, really, because it's not happening. But Trump will not let it go. He will
Also,
not let it go.
It's such a circular thing because, look, I want to be forthright. I'm in favor of immigration reform and controls. I think it has gotten out of control.
Yes, without
But
a doubt.
But so much of what we see is you have an immigrant here who doesn't have a Social Security number, who digs one up, right? And it may be somebody that's deceased. So it's actually an immigrant that is paying taxes on a deceased Social Security number. Like, this is it's such a circular thing for the Trump bunch.
It's weird.
So they're going to take an immigrant who was paying taxes and they're going to tell him, no, you can no longer pay taxes.
Yep, you're out of here.
It's
You're out of
all-
here.
It's all just this culture war thing. they make these issues that are really small issues into big mountains that have to be addressed, and it's because it's killing America. That's the core.
Well, the Tea Party's trying to take transmissions out of all cars right now.
Society.
Transmissions, trans.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Well, you look at
Culture war's real.
There are more people in Texas with measles
Yeah.
than there are men playing women's sports. But we have a executive order about that, which I mean I don't disagree with the idea that women shouldn't play men's sports.
No.
But what are we putting our priorities on? That's the biggest problem with it right now. Is that
I think people with measles should not play women's sports.
Probably not. They probably shouldn't play many sports at all. I mean, I'd like to play against girls. I could fucking win once in a while and stuff. I could like block some shots and shit. That'd be great. But I'm not gonna risk my political career for it.
I'm gonna get
I
measles.
still would suck.
I'm gonna get measles so I can play women's sports.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, that's a good idea. Again, all this weird stuff, you know, and these social issues and the culture war. I mean, it's very real. And I mean, I had a lot of jokes banning anything with trans in the thing, you know, and I'm having fun with it, you know. And I'm like, now, you know what? I don't even need to talk about it because it doesn't really affect me. And the one thing is, a lot of things that Trump and Doge and these people talk about don't fucking affect anybody, you know, except for the very narrow-minded people that just have hate in their blood. That, you know, you set them off, you know, I mean, and I guess that's what you do.
Well,
You keep repeating the lies.
I spent the last 18 months of my life running a political race, and I can tell you, as much as we exactly.
Good luck in North Dakota.
Yeah. As much as
welcome to your consolation prize.
Want to, yeah. Here I am at the big time.
Yeah. Yeah. You're one of the buds.
Yeah. Like we had voters in the last week say things like "love you," "love Rafe," "hate Gianforte," "can't vote for a Democrat because you guys like trans people." So
yeah.
Now, I think that we should be respectful and champions of all people's personal dignity, but I also think we should win goddamn political races.
I do too.
And so we need to be cognizant.
So what's the
We
fucking
do,
answer? What do we like? Okay, all three of you guys get to give me. What are we doing? What lie?
we could.
You're right. Just fucking lie. Why not?
The problem is that the problem is that we make it's all one or all the other. It's not true. We can say it's not okay for a biological male to play women's sports and respect the rights of trans people. We can do both things. I don't know why we've got this idea that we can't do both. That's the problem.
Because the narrative is...
Because in Montana, it used to be live and let live.
Like I think Ryan said something at an event, said, all right, none of you in this room want me to go to the bathroom with your 12-year-old daughter. None of you. But they fucking think you do. They think you do. They all think that's what you want. They want you. They want boys playing girls' sports. They want... It's not the goddamn truth. I don't think the percentage of Democrats that actually want this shit reaches 1%. But they're fucking tarnished forever now because of it. This is nuts.
It's not forever. I want to give people people some hope. Listen,
oh my God.
Listen, I really believe that for the first time in a decade, I feel a national wind behind Democrats' backs. And for the first time in a decade. Why? Because the most powerful force in politics is overreach and destruction by the other side. And we are seeing it now. We are seeing it. So I want I want everybody
Wasn't
to think
Biden's
big.
emphysema blowing?
Like, you should be thinking big right now.
Yeah.
Like, Ryan Zinke should not win this seat again. He should
will.
not. No, he should not.
He shouldn't, but...
Well,
I mean, who's...
I'm taking bets.
Yeah, I know. I mean, right now, you know, I would say... I mean, I don't know, dude. I don't know. I don't see him losing anymore. You know, I don't see Gianforte losing. I don't see any of these guys losing, you know? I mean, it's just because of the margins that they're winning by. Now, Zinke didn't win by a huge margin, for sure, you know? I mean, I'll be honest, your race, it surprised me. I mean, it's not like I was...
Look, things change. This is not the old politics. Things change much faster now.
You're right. You're right.
Think about it. Monica lost to Zinke by just a little over 3% in a non-presidential year. In a non-presidential year, when we did not have the national politics at our back.
Yeah,
I want
that's
you to
true.
think now. Zinke, they keep going on this tariff, Doge, fire people. The park shut down 2 days a week. Your favorite campground's not open. The shitters are full everywhere. Like wheat's at $2, dude. You better think big, because we can
So
do this. I'm telling you.
I mean, okay, what you're saying to me seems like my conservative friends will say, that's all bullshit. None of it's going to happen. You know,
Right.
Take a drink. I said conservative. That's all bullshit. Give it a month or two, and this is all going to work out. And I'm thinking, I don't know how you get rid of that many people and have it work out. So
That
if
is not
I'm
gonna
wrong,
work out.
I'm going to say, hey, you know what? I was wrong. Trump and Musk doing a great job. All this waste is gone, and everything's perfect. I don't think that's going to happen. But I do not know for sure.
And you run a bunch of businesses,
Yeah.
and they're not Twitter tech businesses, right? Elon
No.
thinks he can come in and say, look around and go,
Yeah.
talent is hard to get, and just go, you know what, 30% of you gone. How would this place run? How
It
would
would-
your other businesses run? And are you going to fix that in a week?
Well, as long as I was one of the 30%, I'd be okay with it.
You'd have to
But
raise
you're
the
right.
price of wings
You're
yet
right.
again.
Dude. Don't even get me on the wings.
There's probably going to be a tariff on wings.
Wing Wednesday kills us. Today's Wing Wednesday.
We're going to put a tariff on wings and weeds and skis.
No, do not do. Well, skis, it's probably coming because they come from China, a lot of them. None of ours do, though. Ours are all coming from Ukraine and Slovenia,
boy.
Austria. Yeah, I know. They're still making skis there.
Jesus.
I mean, fuck. Like, they're kind of making like, oh, Jesus Christ. You know? Like,
Talk about priorities.
I know. Priorities for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, we said this before. We'll touch on the Oscars because it's I don't know anything about it. Never watched it. I don't watch movies.
I'm a huge movie nerd, and
So
I
you-
watch the Oscars every year.
Was
I
it-
always do.
What was the Fuck Trump by De Niro? I don't think.
So
I mean,
De
is it-
Niro wasn't there. That was from the Tonys. You're talking about the.
So
Fuck Trump.
why is that popping up everywhere?
Well, because misinformation spreads very quickly.
So
on the
that's
internet.
what it is.
Yeah.
It's like a bot putting that out there.
I
or
watched
something.
the Oscars and I thought Conan O'Brien was the host. I thought he did a great job. I thought everyone was fairly restrained, because usually that's like
No slapping this year?
You watch the Oscars and it's like, oh god, Jimmy
fucking
Kimmel's
boring.
gonna spend 20 minutes going after Trump. They got a few good digs in, but they were much more restrained this
Yeah.
year.
Well, there's a lot of that. Do you think people are just afraid of Trump? Like Democrats aren't saying a goddamn word.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I
They're
bet.
all.
Sure.
That's what's going on.
I hope that they are plotting behind the scenes and they're just not showing their cards yet.
I don't know if they are.
I really do.
I mean, I
really
can't
hope they
believe.
are.
Like we talk about how much his fucking cock gets sucked by
Breaking news.
everybody.
Quinnell believes in the Easter Bunny too.
The Eric Adams. What in the hell? I mean, all this stuff.
Well, he's a worm. I mean,
Obviously, but he's gonna get pardoned, or
Sure.
get.
They already did.
I mean, or get rid of his case against him, and apparently the prosecutors are just all like fucking quit
Yeah, they
because
quit.
It's a huge deal at the DOJ. It's
Yeah.
a huge
I mean,
deal.
I look at Rob Blagojevich. Have you seen that guy? He does look like somebody Trump would hang out with, though. Cheesy as fuck,
I haven't seen him in a while.
And fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and fun. I hear he's a lot of fun. Yeah. But so Trump's going to help these Democrats out, and all. I think a lot of all this shit's kind of smoke and mirror stuff for it's got to be right. All this every single day there's something nuts. Like we try to write this script on Saturday,
Well, but
like
isn't that
fucking Monday afternoon, it's completely different.
Isn't
'cause-
that Steve Bannon's whole kind of
Yes,
ethos?
fucking,
Where he's like, we're going to hit
confuse you. Yep.
with so much stuff, and it's going to be 5, 6, 7.
There's an attractive man.
Crazy. Yeah, he's gorgeous. Yeah. We're going to hit you with 5, 6, 7 things a day that you won't be able to catch up. Because by the time you're responding to thing 2, we've already hit you with 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and by then it's a bed of nails, and what are you going to do?
What are you gonna do? What
You're going to lose. That's what you're going to do.
Well, yeah, true. Oh, without a doubt. That just makes me sick. It does. I don't.
Man, I'm telling you, keep coming back to the things that are actually happening. 150 or so Forest Service and park employees are fired in the
Gone.
Flathead Valley area. So this summer, when the park is shut down a day a week, or when the reservation system doesn't work, or when the campgrounds aren't open, that is one party's fault. Period. End of story. When
people think they're all the same.
when Uncle Steve
this time.
when Uncle Steve goes to the VA and the doctor and the nurse are both fired and the wait time is 9 months, that is one party's responsibility. Period. End of story. When almost all the fertilizer in this state comes from Canada.
Right, that's what I heard,
When wheat
yeah.
prices crash and farmers can't make it, mostly in the eastern two. That is one party's responsibility. You don't have to worry about all this social crap and all this stuff they're throwing on the wall.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
some of it's sticking, but this stuff will stick in this state, and it will hurt people.
And worldwide, we're now looked at as siding with Russia. I mean, these are reports that there's 18 world leaders out there trying to help Ukraine. All of them are saying, well, America's now siding with Russia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, ho-hum. I'm like, well, I think that should, to me, if that's the case, and that's how we're seeing, I would think people would stand up against this. But there's none of that. We're fine with it. We're fine. So, like, Russia, North Korea, Iran, and America. That's like, that's now the new, like, I don't get it. Doesn't that scare you guys? Isn't it fucking weird that people are, like, saying, I guess, well, I'm not with Russia. Marco Rubio's not with Russia, but he's shutting his fucking mouth, isn't
Little
he?
Marco.
Little Marco.
Thank you.
Yeah. like I think, Representative Stansbury from New Mexico last night, she had a sign ripped out of her hands. And I'm not really into just the holding of the signs and all that shit. But, her sign said, this is not normal. And I think that we should all understand, to your point, it's not normal to be on the side of the murdering dictator who
Right.
kidnaps kids from Ukraine, right?
So,
It's not okay.
I mean, how many people do you think in our valley alone, because our valley is like, what, 70% Republican, think that Vladimir Putin now is a dictator, that he did start the war. He instigated it. It's all his fault.
That 70%?
Yeah, how do you think of the Flathead Valley? I mean, I want people
One?
that...
I want to tell you right
mean-
now, most people do not care and are not tuned into it at all.
No, they're
don't
not.
care.
What the
At
fuck?
all. At all.
don't care.
Really?
At all.
Yeah, they don't care.
They should be scared right now.
No, at all.
At least 50% of that 70% could probably not find Russia on a map.
Most of those could not tell you that what country Putin rules. Most of them this is my point. When people say, well, they voted for this, that's just not true. Most people did not vote for all this. They don't understand it.
They voted for a funny guy that
No,
was
no,
a celebrity.
Look, most people are trying to meet their rent. They're trying to feed their kids. They're trying to get the job in the morning. They're trying to get their kids to school. That's what they care about. They're not
Right,
tuned
you're right.
into politics like we are. And so this is why I keep going back to the things that matter. When the park is shut down 2 days a week, that shit will matter to people. When the price of fertilizer goes up for farmers, that will matter to people. Focus on the stuff that matters.
Like, so, you have camp hosts at all your public campgrounds in Montana. And these people come, and they get to camp there for free, and I think they get paid, whatever. I'm assuming that budget's probably gone.
Yeah.
I don't really know, but that's Forest Service stuff.
When trails aren't cleared, I mean, who's gonna clear the trails?
Well, nobody in
Packers gonna
Kalispell
clear
gives a
the
fuck about
trails?
trails. I read a lot of social media, and trail people are absolutely worthless if you look at social media in the Flathead Valley. I don't get it, I mean...
This is going to hit people. I'm telling you. There will be roads that are blocked that the Forest Service can't get to. This stuff will all happen. There will be fires. I hope we don't have a bad fire season here this year, but if we do, there's going to be insufficient staff to fight it. Bad stuff is going to happen, and Trump and Musk and Vance own every single bit of it.
They sure do. They do. And hopefully there's a price to pay for it, She, that trans.
American
Do you think
warrior.
it's all on purpose so
he'll-
he can take
he'll-
over the government contracts for the...
Yeah,
Well-
he'll benefit from more fires, won't he?
I'm assuming that would be the case, yeah. But somebody on social media left a comment about, well, it's good that they're getting rid of the Forest Service employees because a private company can do it a lot better. Oh,
Wrong.
really? So, and I'm sure way cheaper. Okay, let's look at real quick before we
On
get Mike
public
up here.
land?
Let's
No,
go with
they're
some.
not going to do it on public land.
We have some social media. This is about the kid that got killed. Okay, or the homeless person that got killed. The kid that's going to prison. This Kayla Malin is on his side. She's saying the kid, Caleb Fleck, was protecting himself. This community has failed our children. None of you know anything about this young man but the lies in the paper. Scott Bryan was a mentally ill schizophrenic, a lifetime of crime and assault, sexual assault with over 15 drugs in his system. I'm glad this young man stuck up for himself. I pray all of you with daughters never have to encounter this. What would you think then? It's easy to judge, isn't it? Vengeance is no one to have. I pray for all of you here misjudging. You should be really ashamed of yourselves. He looks real nice, too. She's
I want her on my
defending.
jury.
I was going to say, get her off the jury.
Yeah, I was going to say it.
I mean, that's insane. They took a video of themselves having fun killing a guy. They weren't being. I mean, that's nuts. It's really nuts. What's the next one, Kevin?
But he looks real nice.
I know. Well, these are the people we live around, you know? Here's about the park. Reducing the
Jeffrey
park
Dahmer did
infrastructure
too.
would actually be really good for the park itself and the wildlife. Stop plowing the road and let Mother Nature decide when it's open to visitors. Stop building parking lots so when it's full, it's full. The Going to Sun Road should be no more than a Jeep trail with warming huts along the way, and I'll bet all the locals will maintain what they need to and to share with their friends and family. The perfect solution is cut the visitors from millions to hundreds. Yeah,
Did my kid write that?
we'd have a. It sounds like your kid. Yeah, like,
Jeremiah
Gage
Johnson
right there.
over here.
I know. I mean, okay.
Somebody who really understands tourist economy.
And economy, yeah.
They understand tourist
That's really
dollars, for
weird.
sure.
Should shut the park down if they really care about it. 2 to 3 million visitors can't be good for the glaciers.
Are they walking on the
Maybe it's
glacier?
not the. They're farting a lot.
they're not
They're
walking on the
farting. They're
glacier.
farting some CO2
I
out.
think
They're
they're
ruining
just
it.
looking at the glaciers. So
I like it. A bunch of socialists thinking they have a right to a state-sponsored job. That quote is fucked up. Go back to that one, Kevin. The top one from Scott Skurlock. I'm sure he's super smart. A bunch of socialists thinking of a right to have it. And that's another thing that pisses me off. Socialist.
Well, just
Like,
a second.
Fuck.
This whole thing pisses me off. If you think about so many of the things in your life that are important, they do have a socialist thread to them. Like when you want the snowplow to come,
Fuck
I'm
yeah,
glad,
that's
I'm glad
socialism.
we have a socialist snowplow,
Yes.
right? I'm glad we have socialist, people that keep the streets. And the whole idea of public lands, it is a socialist concept. Thank fucking God.
I know.
Thank fucking God.
Well, and they're getting rid of that. They're trying, they're going to, our Montana plant public lands are for sale. I mean, they went and had sold or traded with the Yellowstone Club 15 square miles of the Crazy Mountains.
yeah, land swap.
A place that fucking people find sacred. We don't, Gianforte don't give a fuck about that. Like, nobody gives, it's all about the dollar. And listen, many of our peers only care about the dollar, and that is the Bible to a lot of people, which is, it's hard for a guy like me to understand it, but I'm telling you, a lot of this country, it is what it is. They don't care about a place to have a picnic or clean air. It's all about money.
I hope we never lose the Montana that I moved to and that I love, where you were here not to make money. You hoped you make enough to live here. You moved here because it was cheap and because you had an awesome quality of life. And you just cared about scraping by and making it because this place is so awesome. And they're attacking both things, right? They're making it unaffordable, and they're taking the awesome nature of the place and trying to sell it. And those things just piss me
They
off.
both suck. People can move here to enjoy it, but not these people. I mean, again, I'm not trying to single anybody out, but Ryan, that was elegantly said.
You want to know a couple things going on in the state legislature that we talked about at City Council? One, they tried to do away with all zoning.
Right, yep.
Fortunately, that bill got tabled, and so it's done.
What? No, I want
They
that.
do that in Texas? Isn't Texas like?
I can do what I want
think
with my
Texas is
property.
like that,
Yeah.
That one got tabled, so they're not
You
doing
don't want
that.
to live next to a
But-
fertilizer plant? Come on.
Why not?
Steve.
Well,
Socialist.
I can make
Every
so,
time
I can make so much money off my little
Every
half
time
acre here.
somebody from Texas on social media attacks me, I'm like, thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
I'm going to.
It means a lot from the bottom of
If
my
I ever
heart.
run for office again, I'm going to say, I don't want to be fucking Texas. Like that's going to be there.
They want to do fourplexes and triplexes by right on every residential lot in any city anywhere in the state.
That's not passing.
Okay.
That one's going to come out of committee. It's going to get
Oh, it
voted
is?
on. Yeah, that one's going to make it through committee probably, and it's going to be
Holy
voted
Christ.
on. And the last one is they want to allow ADUs in any separated building on your property, or if you own an adjacent property, you can live in one and the other one can be your AD. You can rent as a short-term rentals. They want to do short-term rentals
Short-term rental.
in any non-separated. Think about that. What that does to a community.
Yeah.
Think about what that does to property. Think about what that does to
So Airbnbs.
and the
It
other
helps
thing-
me make money,
Well,
Steve.
Right, and who's making the money? Again,
Me.
It's some tech trillionaire, billionaire that runs Airbnb
You're right.
or VRBO, and we have no recourse. We can't sue them. We can't do anything to them.
Can't regulate them.
Yeah, we can't do anything to this.
So
this
is that a direct attack
international
on
corporation?
on the whitefish laws that regulate short-term rentals?
A lot of it is because of what we have here, because we've been regulating short-term rentals since the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we
Are they going
said
to
these-
change those laws? The short-term rental laws?
That's what's up for. That's what that one's going to definitely come up for a vote about allowing a short-term rental in a separate building. If you have two buildings on your property, one of them can be for short-term rentals.
Isn't that Nathan Dugan's big thing? ADUs? Isn't he all about
ADUs
that?
are. Well, ADUs
Housing
have
in
already
general.
been that law's already been changed. Any residential lot is allowed to have an ADU
Okay.
by right
Gotcha.
now.
All
That's
right.
already happened.
Another, the tax option bill, and we got a social media comment on the sales tax option bill that's up in Helena. If it's tourist tax, why should we pay then? They're double dipping in the residents. We already pay too much on everything. This state's being sold out and destroyed by greedy liberals that probably either just moved here or have a vacation home here they rent out for $5,000. That should be illegal. Nothing is ever said about preserving the state. It's just take.
That is a wild.
That is, wow. I want to meet Greg Martin. Greg Martin, if you're listening, we'd like you really.
Come on the show, buddy. I want to know more about you.
Yeah. You got another one, Kevin, or no?
Liberals.
That's like half a bottle of vodka at the bar, tapping it out on your phone.
Why?
Oh, here's another one.
The sentiment is right, but the where he's placing the blame is all wrong.
Yeah.
Look at this one, Robert E. Lee, right here. Tax the warming center and the welfare office. We're spent and drained enough. Holy
been to the
Christ.
Don't tax
Yeah, I've been there.
apostrophes.
Like, it
I've
is
been there.
no frills.
It's not that nice.
No.
I would not want to live there.
I would
but
not
if I had
trade
to, I'm
places
glad
with
it's there.
anyone that has to live there.
You got another one, Kev?
No, it's just
Okay, here we go. Warming center decision. Counselors should oppose this corrupt decision. City attorneys should disclose any ties to the homeless industrial complex.
All right.
We live around some
right.
fucking kooks, man. And
So it was a settlement. There was no decision.
no,
The
this is
city
settlement.
decided to settle the case.
Didn't have to go all the way because they knew they were going to lose.
They would have lost a
So
lot
if-
more
And
money.
they lost to the.
If I was going to start a profitable lobbying company, homeless industrial complex is who I would want as a contract.
I would think so because
The money would roll
dude,
in.
the ribeyes for
Roll
lunch
in.
every day. Ribeyes for lunch.
Steak and cigar.
Oh
club,
my
man.
God, that's
between,
brutal.
Between the industrial complex and the taxes you could put on homeless people.
Absolutely.
Just think of,
There is cash
think
in
of
that.
the revenues.
That
think
dude's
of the
right.
revenues.
Yes,
So
cow.
crazy.
Tap into that.
It is so crazy to me when someone steals a candy bar in Kalispell, how the amount of lawyers that get involved, where you've got someone like me to represent them, the prosecutor to prosecute them, you've got the judge who's a lawyer.
Yeah.
You spend so much good money after bad.
Calling Doge.
Yeah.
Calling Doge.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Come on, sniff it out.
Well, and they try to fix it where they get rid of jails because public defenders only get appointed if there's a possibility of jail time. So what the legislature did
Yeah.
in their infinite wisdom is they took away the penalty of jail for lower level driving offenses, first offense thefts, things like that. But then the
Cool.
businesses get pissed off because they feel like these homeless people aren't being punished enough. So then
Right.
it comes back and our cases explode and I've got 15 stupid
Because they're represented by the homeless industrial complex.
It's like if people are getting rich off this,
Think of
I
where
want
that
my
candy
cut.
bar is going.
Yeah.
That candy bar is feeding
I-
the industrial
I
complex.
have literally had restitution requests from Super One in Kalispell for 98 cents for a candy bar. No joke.
Next time you get one of those, you call me.
Yeah.
I will drive down to Super One. I will give him the 98 cents and a 2-cent tip.
I've done
And
I
a
have-
hug.
I have done that
I've
where
got about 1,000,000 pennies at
I'll
home.
have a
if you
client,
wanted
we've reached a deal, he wants to plead guilty, but he's got another pending case. What's the case? Oh, he ripped his jail shirt. He's charged with criminal mischief. And I go, how much is a fucking jail shirt cost? They go, well, there's $6, and I pulled out my wallet and said, here you go. Can we get rid of this shit?
Oh my
It is
God.
such a
You
waste
are
of
part
time.
of the homeless
Right,
industrial.
You are part of
Just, I'm
the
rolling in it. Yeah.
HIC CEO
Got
right
you.
Money,
there.
Hook, line,
status,
and sinker.
respect, fame, you name it. It's
Steve-
rolling in
Line
at the
and
public
sinker.
defender's office.
Steve, thank you for joining us. Thanks for your wisdom. We're going to invite Mike Jopek up here now. We're going to get
Thanks,
to
Ed.
Montana
Thanks, guys.
politics.
Thank you, Steve.
Thanks, Steve. Mr. Jopek, welcome back to the show. Barkeep, we need another round. Oh, there's one right there. All right, all right. We want to start with Lucas Schubert, our neighbor in Evergreen, the kid that
The
won his
little
house seat.
Nazi.
Yep, kind of.
Lucas couldn't be here tonight because he's not old enough to be in the bar.
So, Kevin, right.
maybe in 5 years, I don't know
I
how old
well,
he is,
you know what's
17?
weird? I went to the Tavern Association's lobbyist legislator meet and greet. and he was there.
Lucas was there saluting you.
Well, I saw him. I was outside
It's
having
just
a
his
smoke.
heart goes out to you, I think is what they say now. Yeah.
I don't know. That he looks like a deer with the headlights. I think he's just sitting there like, I can't believe they let him talk me into this shit. I don't think he likes it, but we'll see. I don't know. So, Kevin, what's this bill? He wants to show in health class in high school, he wants to show pictures of an aborted fetus. This is a bill.
It reads, a school district offering human sexuality instruction shall ensure that instruction includes at least one visual image of a dilation and evacuation abortion that is performed between 20 and 25 weeks.
Oh,
I get a lot of people signing up for that one.
yeah.
How does a 19-year-old come up with that?
I
How
don't.
does a
I
19-year-old
don't think
virgin
he
come up
does.
with that?
Right, yeah.
I think there might be somebody pulling his strings.
No, come on.
I think there might be.
Yeah, right. This conspiracy theory talk.
I don't know. But I mean, that's crazy, right?
Is the thought behind it like a scared straight type deal?
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, the president's got it. Your kid's
They
got a
come to
president.
my house. I have a 3-year-old and a 10-day-old, and you will not want to have children. I promise you that.
Oh yeah. No.
I
No.
promise
I'm used to that.
I haven't slept in 2 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. That is.
Snow
No.
melt. It's not like you own the bar or
I
anything.
don't know. I don't know what we serve here anymore. I just drink it. That's all I give a
Right.
shit about. I eat it, and I drink it, and I smoke it. I don't care where it comes from.
Now that's an industrial complex.
It is. As long as it ain't coming from Canada or Mexico, I'm all for it.
Right.
I'm buying only American now. I'm going to have to work twice as hard, though. But again, with the tariffs and all this stuff, Ronald Reagan, they keep showing the Ronald Reagan videos of, these neighbors are our friends. We are to treat them with respect. And look at what the greatest president in the history of the world, followed by George Washington. Oh, my God. Anyway, before Mike starts, the right to work bill failed. I was very happy with that. Everybody got
went down pretty good, too.
big time. Well, I don't know if you guys watched the hearing. I did. 3 people spoke in support of the bill.
They had suits on, like me.
Yep, exactly. Yes. And at least 40 to 50 people were against it. I stopped watching.
They
I was
all
like,
had work boots on.
and they look like me.
Yeah.
Yep. And we all got the mailer, and it's funny how they don't talk about in this mailer, you're not going to get a pension, you're not getting health insurance, we're trying to not give you overtime, but I'm glad. I honestly thought this was going to pass, but it got annihilated. That gives me some hope.
I wonder why.
Was it the test? Because normally the testimony doesn't matter. They got something set on their mind. So what?
I know.
Mike, what do you think about?
You got all their flathead guys on board. I mean, you saw.
Oh, yeah.
Regier
Regier.
signed up. Fuller signed up.
No, come on.
You know.
I know, big surprise.
Nolan, Glim's
What?
on there. Oh yeah, no, they're all signed on for that bill.
Every time we say Glim, we got to go through there.
Yeah, they got 18 Republicans to vote for it. 32 voted against it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, because of those other Republicans, their constituents are like, what the fuck, dude? 80% of our workforce is union here, in Butte, in other places. I mean,
Yeah,
there's
all those construction jobs. I mean,
know,
there's lots of
Havert,
50,000
Shelby,
AFL-CIO members.
the railroad, your hospitals and stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
but I was scared. I just thought because it's Montana and we're going by the way of Idaho. Like I was talking to Ryan earlier about it. It's like I follow Idaho politics because I think it's fucking hilarious.
That's probably next session.
Seriously.
Wild
Next
It'll be
shit
next.
going
You're
on
right.
in Idaho.
Dude, Idaho guy, they stiffened the penalties for marijuana, and the senator goes, studies have showed that marijuana is far more dangerous than alcohol in every study I've ever read.
Now, if you'll excuse me,
Okay.
I have to go meet Larry Craig in the bathroom.
Yes, yep, get a quick hand job.
Yeah.
I'm not gay at all. I hate
These
those
guys
people.
are so
I have
mad
a-
at the unions. I mean,
I have a
what is
wide
that? You got like
stance.
1 in 10 union jobs in America. We got 50,000 AFL members in Montana. I mean, if you don't want a union job, don't
get one.
Don't sign up
And
for a
you know
union
what?
job.
Exactly. And stop and don't fight against it and don't talk about it like it's a bad thing. This is one thing, again, about the conservatives being fucking snowflakes about shit big time. Because they can be assholes all they want you know, about almost everything or everything. You know, and I'm not saying Democrats aren't assholes, but generally they're not. They're just not these in-your-face kind of people that, like, you know, Mike, you know, I mean.
They're just feckless.
Feckless, yes, kind of.
That's true.
It's true. Maybe they need me more, be a little more feck.
If I have to hear Hakeem Jeffries speak in these lofty, it makes me sick.
Okay.
I mean, but the unions have done some good stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be fair.
Very good stuff. I wouldn't be here today without my
40-hour
dad
work
being in a
week,
union.
I'm the
sick
local
days,
union rep
you
right
know,
here. You're looking at 'em.
overtime. I mean, all these things. I mean, you know.
I think
come
it's
on.
very possible that unions, organized labor are a way out of this.
Right?
But
The police union supported Trump.
Yeah. Look,
Not anymore.
Look, there's a lot of like Trump is a scab. Come on, he's a scab. But
hell yeah.
so there's a big social turmoil inside of union membership because a lot of union membership are MAGA Trump voters.
Yep.
Yes.
But-
yes.
but-
Which blows my fucking mind.
Again,
20 years ago, that wouldn't have happened.
And they don't
again,
have to pay dues.
part of this is on
They don't.
Democrats. Let's not be like we're not identifying very well with the working class. But I think unions are going to be our way out of this. Unions are going to be our way to respond. 'Cause you're not gonna fight a dude with $1 trillion on your own.
No, you're not.
You're not.
Not at all. Not at
Not
all.
unless you
no.
have Luigi Mangione on your side.
When's that union up on the hill getting their contract? What are they, like a year into it?
Luigi begs to differ.
Yeah, right.
Luigi's getting a lot of money.
He is getting a lot of money.
I mean, is that how fucked up
It's
America
a fascinating
is?
story.
I mean, like, as much as I don't like health insurance and those people either, you know, our government made the rules. It wasn't that guy's fault that he's that fucking rich.
Like, I'm sure I've said this before, that
Maybe.
you've heard it, where it would have been totally different if
Oh, yeah.
Luigi would have killed the CEO of, Ace Hardware.
You're
or
right.
something, and people
You're right.
would have been
It
like,
was,
people would have been like, oh,
what are you doing that
he had a
for?
family, that's sad.
But he was a fucking multi-billionaire.
Right.
But
He just
still.
sent screws and hammers. But once they found out it was United Healthcare, they were like, oh,
Oh, yeah.
They're like
he had it coming.
They're like he only got one.
yeah, right.
So you've got a really weird thing going on with that, though, I think, in this country. You got a lot of pissed off rednecks that fucking hate gay people and they hate brown people. Okay, you got that. Then you got a lot of younger liberal, I would say, crazy fucking people that are celebrating somebody murdering somebody in broad daylight.
Well, he's a folk hero.
He's a folk hero now. Okay, I mean, we just released Leonard Peltier. You know, like, I mean, that I celebrated. That was, I think, very due. But I'm not going to celebrate Luigi. I'm just not as a person.
No,
you
no,
know,
we're not going to celebrate him. But let's be honest, it's hard out there. I
Oh,
mean, you got a
dude.
minimum wage job. You can't pay the average rent in the state
You get a
of
speeding
Montana.
ticket, you're kind of fucked for a couple months. You got to go to J.G. Wentworth, need cash now. If you
I
get a
want
speeding
my
ticket,
money and I want it now.
and I want it now. I mean, think about what it's doing to these people and all these easy lenders. And I remember back, you might have been in the legislation when they cut down on all the easy lender people in Montana.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that
I
was-
mean, that was a good thing. I was
Yeah.
stoked that
I
went
think
through.
that's coming
20
back,
years
though.
ago.
Isn't that back now?
It
Yes,
is
it
legalized loan sharking.
It is
I mean,
back.
it is
I think it
crazy.
is. Oh
There's
my
good
God.
money in that.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
Loan sharking industrial complex.
Yes. it is.
The House passed a bill defining residency rules for voting, potentially excluding all the college kids. You know about this one, Mike, right?
I pulled that bill up because I was like, oh, they're at it again.
Right.
You know, and so I pulled it up. It's a simple bill. It's a 2-pager bill, but it targets temporary workers, people who come from training, veterans who come to Great Falls training.
Yep.
And it also targets
College
college
students.
students. Specifically targets college students.
And that's,
Yeah.
to me, the Republicans' big thing in Montana. And I want people to pay attention to this. They want to make it very hard for people to vote. This is the truth. I mean, they are making it very hard, if not impossible, for an independent to run. Because, plus, you know, my genius strategy to get Democrats to win is run as independents. Fuck it. Nobody wants to vote for a Democrat. But if you were an independent, I'm going to assume you would have got a lot more votes. Don't know if you would have won,
I don't
but
know.
maybe.
I don't think so.
But probably same thing. Gianforte's got a strong
5 or
hold.
6 more viewers, I think we're saying.
Yeah, right.
There you
I was
go,
going to
yeah.
say 5 or 6 more voters.
Yeah. Okay, but you look at what they're doing to try to really just to make sure they don't lose again is what it seems like to me.
Yeah,
Like-
but that's been in the GOP playbook for years. right?
Well, it has, and they're excellent at it.
Yeah,
they're very good at it. You know.
Much better than Democrats.
Only one Republican voted against this bill.
Which one?
from Great Falls. Why do you think that is?
Right, yeah,
Because
exactly.
the veterans issue in Great Falls.
Yes.
And they're like, ooh, this might be bad for my district, and
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah, it would be, yes. But that one to me, it just seems like, I see a lot of it seems petty. I hate to say it, but there's definitely strategy behind it.
Oh, yeah.
There is strategy. They want to make sure they can hold on to these votes that they have and keep it going. I can see that, This one really, really was fucking weird to me. They voted down the third DUI felony bill. Who lobbied for that? Molson Coors or?
Right.
The Tavern Association, I'm sure.
The Montana
but why
Tap
but I don't
House.
think the Tavern, you're right. But I don't think the Tavern Association would really care. Like, I'm a member. I don't know if, they were out there lobbying, against this bill.
Yeah, I don't understand it.
But I don't know who would, and that just seems obvious to me.
4 DUIs is a lot, and that's a felony in Montana. That's a lot of DUIs.
3
lot.
would be a lot,
Two's a lot, right?
Right.
I don't doubt it. And look, I get it. This is from a criminal defense attorney. Like, you get a DUI, it happens. You went to a Christmas party, they had finger foods instead of regular food. You're driving home, you get popped for a DUI. I get it. You get 2, 3, maybe you got a problem.
Yeah, a problem like, you shouldn't be getting that many of them.
Right. Maybe you need to think about your
I
outcomes.
know. Like, hey, I'm going to be. I've been. There's a few times that I've gotten home, whatever. But I just think that the whole psyche of going through it changes people, and I've seen it change people, and they've changed their ways.
Yeah.
But not everybody, of course. And if you're not that person, it seems like by the third time, a felony, you would take it serious.
I
a little
will
more
say
serious.
that Montana
I don't know.
has
Do they?
some of, if not the most lenient DUI laws in the
We
country.
have lenient murder laws, dude.
Well, yeah.
We're lenient on everything.
Well,
We're an outlaw state.
Remember, this is the last state to disavow an open container
Right,
law,
you're right. You're right. The Fed said no fucking money unless you do
It's the
this.
last state to disavow a speed limit.
And my home state was
statewide
the
speed
second
limit.
last one
Yeah.
for the.
There's
drinking.
a really deep libertarian streak in the state.
Right.
We
Some
really should go back to reasonable and prudent. I
Yeah.
mean, those were good days.
I like
love
that. I do. And you still can do it, really. Like, I was pulled over doing 105 outside of Dillon, and he's like, I'll give you a ticket. He goes, how fast are we going? I go, I don't know, 92 or 3. He goes, you're going like 105. I'm like, ooh, I
That
didn't
was
know.
reasonable, but not prudent.
And he's like, I'm going to give you one for.
When was the last time that radar was calibrated?
Yeah, what's up with that? And he's like, I'm going to give you a ticket for 10 over. It's $20. I'm like, oh, all right.
Deal.
Deal, and like not a real big deal here. In fact, I was like, I've been driving this stretch for like 20-some years, bro. I've never
Yeah.
seen a cop
And
between.
you paid him cash.
You paid in cash, for sure.
I couldn't pay him. I paid my first one in Montana cash 20-some years ago, and this one I had to call in and pay to like Silver Bowl County or something.
So I got a funny story. We drove about 172,000 miles on the campaign, and we only got stopped, like either me or Jason is driving, we only got stopped twice.
Wow,
And only
that
on
many
only
miles.
on the second one did we get a ticket. And the highway patrolman comes up, seasoned guy, you can tell he's been doing this a while. He just walked, no bullshit, no tactical stuff or anything. He just walks up right to the window. He goes, "You were going way too fast. You're gonna get a ticket. I want you to know I'm pretty pissed. This is the only thing in this state that hasn't experienced inflation. It's still $20,
Yeah.
even after 40 years. But that's what you're gonna get."
That's funny. You're right. Every goddamn restaurant's gone. Everything's gone up, and speeding ticket's still $20.
The price of wings are through the roof.
Yeah. Don't get me started
Like,
on the
thank
eggs.
God we didn't steal some eggs.
All right, Mike. What do you got from the what do you have for going on in the legislature right now? What's important in Montana?
I really get the eggs thing. I mean, I had poultry for a lot of years. I mean, Pam was really into it. In fact, part of the deal was that if I got out of politics, she'd get rid of the chickens, and I lagged a few years there.
Do you still have them?
No, we finally got rid of them. Yeah, there is a way out.
I'll send you some.
Yeah.
I can tell you how to do it.
We got bird dogs.
Yeah.
So, Mike, why don't you give us a little update on the property taxes?
No, I don't know. You want to talk about this governor's slush fund? I mean, the governor's
man.
got this slush fund still. I mean, this is like the biggest crisis in Montana that nobody's talking
So
about.
I don't know. All of you should understand this. So the ARPA funds, like the federal the federal funds that came from the Biden administration for the Inflation Reduction
American
Act, right?
Relief
Yeah,
or
yeah.
something, yeah.
So Gianforte decides he's not going to spend them fast enough. He's not going to allocate them fast enough. And so instead of allocating them, they put them in an interest-gaining account.
But yeah.
Interest-gaining
for 2
account
years.
for like 4.5%.
Slush fund time
And
again.
all of this
I like
money
it.
that was sent here by the feds, Gianforte refused to allocate, so it's making him interest. And they take almost $87 million generated in interest and create a slush fund for the governor to use to dole out.
Yeah, for his
Because
pet
he-
projects, bought a
because he re-
building,
because
sent
he
out some
refuses.
mailers.
So this is all
Yeah,
interest
mailers,
generated
yeah.
in a
Got a
so
new
as-
tattoo.
Yeah.
Yeah, just whatever he
Yeah,
wants.
funding
yeah.
that committee to
Yeah.
make justice
Yeah.
partisan.
Sex slave.
Like we can, there's all sorts of stuff, but this is all generated because he refused to allocate the federal dollars, and it generated interest income, and he's now
Oh, yeah.
and he now uses.
No, he's trying to get legislative authority right now. He's put the legislative
Yeah.
authority into House Bill 2 in this particular
Yeah.
session, trying to get authority for the money that they already spent.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
This is not an insignificant amount of money. This is almost $90 million.
the one reason that we're doing this podcast, other than for the 5 people that watch it, maybe my mom watches too. No, we're up to 6, I think, with my mom. Is
She's a regular, right?
There really is, yeah, oh yeah. There isn't at Ryan's house. There isn't a real program out there talking about this stuff. This is not in the news. This isn't anywhere you see anywhere at all. And it kind of bugs me. Like we've been, we're thinking for months, what's our new podcast going to look like? What are we going to do? What are we going to talk about? We have to talk about the truth, and I think a lot of podcasts do, and I think that's why people are now turning to podcasts. And I get it, and I'm hoping conservatives would get more involved with this show and give us their feedback other than the horribly written comments on social media. Just if you can't spell, don't fucking comment.
The brobots love you. They just love you.
The what?
The brobots.
Oh, robots.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They love you.
But this needs to be talked about. A lot of people.
I don't know how you defend accumulating $90 million of
you
the
don't.
people's money.
Yeah.
You don't
and then-
defend it.
And then dole it out for favors.
Yeah, that's just the interest portion.
Yeah.
There's $1 billion of federal money still sitting in House Bill 4 that they're allocating to different places.
And so Gianforte just puts the brakes on it, so it gains interest, and just pumps money into this slush fund. If there is anything that is open to more crooked dealings, I want to see it.
Yeah.
It doesn't get any worse than
Yeah,
that.
and the House Appropriations Chairman, he's running a shadow
Yeah.
government.
Right.
He's like,
What-
sounds all right to me.
Oh yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's okay, so he's not doing his job, obviously. I mean, and there's no real oversight at all, is there? There's none.
No, they came out in the media, That was the oversight.
Oh, yeah, that's it. Yeah. Good genius. Hey, to me, it's appalling. I mean, it is. This is our money. We have a lot of people that are hurting pretty bad in this state. We're saying no to federal funds in a lot of ways. We're saying no to funds in Flathead Valley for first-time home buyers, and we're the bootstrap people and this and that. But don't the bootstrap people have to answer to anybody? I mean, what the fuck is this?
I traveled all over eastern Montana for the campaign, and broadband over there is a real deal deficiency, and people need it.
I've heard that, yeah.
It's the real thing, right? And yet,
So do they still have dial-up or something out there?
Yet the state and Gianforte does everything he can to slow down the implementation and disbursement of these ARPA funds. And it's hurting people.
And they're going to vote for him anyway, though.
Their lives are
They're
their
in
lives
eastern
are-
Montana, right?
I mean, some of them will. Some of them will,
he's
but
done.
yeah, he's not. They're not going to vote for him again. But unless
So
he
who?
unless he pulls a Trump and goes for a third term.
Third term.
Yeah, well, that's happening. We know that. And if it, I mean, no, it's happening. Nobody. I'm gonna tell you right now, Trump's going to run for a third term.
I hate to circle back to this, but everybody in this bar tonight better treat 2026 like it's a bulwark against a Trump third term, because that's what it is.
Oh yeah,
That's
no,
what it
without
is.
doubt. Now, and I don't understand what happened in this country, and Mike and Ryan, you're political guys, and Ryan, you're just like a guy. Anyway, You know, to see what happens, you know, from every 2 years in the short memory in America and what we have, holy cow, you know? Because like I said, you know, when after Trump's first term, he lost the House or the Senate or both after, you know, and it's normal. He lost both. But in those 2 years, he passed a big tax cut for really wealthy people and not much else. He really didn't do a whole lot else. I thought he was going to do that this time.
No,
was
they're
wrong.
doing stuff now.
No, they're fucking 1 million miles an hour, and I think they know, they know. They are done in 2 years. They are not going to keep the House and the Senate. They're probably going to lose both, but they're definitely losing one because of the first fucking month of what he's done, really. I do think there's a lot of people in Montana that are pissed right now. I think there's people that pissed that they didn't vote for Ryan. I think people.
Well, they should have voted for Ryan on this property tax stuff.
Oh,
I mean,
fuck yeah.
What they're doing in Helena. Let me
It's
just
not
read you
gonna
a
get-
couple numbers. Let me read you a couple
Everybody
of numbers.
should listen to what Jopek is getting ready to say.
Yeah, I
because
want. This is why you're here, Mike.
the malfeasance that is going on with your property taxes in Helena right now should curl your hair, even my hair.
Oh, it's just absolutely terrible. I mean, you look at, we got reappraised, right? They revalued your home in 2023.
Yep.
They revalued your home in 2025. And so they did it twice. The first time they revalued your home in the Flathead County, your property taxes in the state went up 38%.
That's a lot.
The state collection,
Sounds about right.
38%.
Jesus.
This time they're doing it 2025.
Don't say it.
31% more.
No.
You add those up. I mean, that's big numbers, 38 and 31%. Gianforte is talking about reducing your taxes 15%. And I'm like, 38, 31, 15. I mean,
Whoa.
Do I still get a rebate though?
well, that's if you qualify. I mean, you have to qualify. You got to do your paperwork. You're going to have to help Grandma do her paperwork. You know, it's
Also, what's so important
God,
about
that's fucking dumb.
what Jopek is explaining here is through all of this property tax increase, industrial properties and industrial big corporations, their burden has gone way down.
Oh, yeah.
Yours has gone up 68%.
yeah, they're getting a sweetheart deal. You know,
Who's this benefiting?
well,
Big industrial companies.
yeah, and it also benefits the state. Let's be clear. What they're
Okay,
doing
right.
is when you put those numbers together, that 38, that 31, the state collects $140 million extra every year because of the two reappraisals.
But that-
the state
but that can't go in the
levies
general
101
fund.
Mills.
Can it?
That's
Yep.
140
Yep.
million coming back. Now, Debo Powers over in House Appropriations, she got them to amend this bill. And she says, well, you got to give more back. So they agreed to give more back. So they're going to give you now 70 million back. They're going to collect 140. They're going to give you 70 back. Now it's
Rebates.
going to be up to, what's his name, Dave Fern over in the Senate to figure out how much.
Good
they
old
actually
what's his
want.
name?
Good old Dave.
Yeah,
Old motor mouth
But,
Fern.
you still
Jeez.
got to qualify.
Yeah.
You still gotta
elitist.
qualify. And if you're a farmer, your barn taxes are going up. If you got a rental, your those
Yep.
taxes are going up. You got a little cabin on the lake.
Well-
Well, forget about that.
So everything, and I'll, you know, as a business owner,
But if you own a big coal company, if you own a big railroad company, if you own a telecommunications
or
company,
a health
plan to
company,
do
you,
soon.
my friend, are in business.
Yeah.
I want my taxes low.
we're going to do that
The
someday.
way this tax law is currently written, it targets for tax increases Whitefish and Columbia Falls because we have higher valuation homes. It
Yeah.
targets
Yep.
Gallatin. It targets Missoula. It targets all the Democratic districts is what it's doing. And you know who's helping them do this? The Democrats.
Yep.
Yeah.
The Democrats. They're helping you do this. They haven't yet figured it out. And so, you know, Senator Dunwell over in the House, same with Representative Byrne from
Yep, Great Falls, right?
No,
Creston.
Creston.
Yeah,
Oh,
Byrne.
Creston.
You know, he's got some great bills. You know, he says, look, we're just going to neuter the 23 and the 25 reappraisals. You pay the same amount
I like
after
that.
we reappraise your home.
Actually-
the state shouldn't collect any extra money just because we revalued your
You're right.
home. And you shouldn't have to do any paperwork to try to get your money back.
No,
And so,
they know who the fuck you are.
yeah, and so, you know, they've actually calculated the dollar increase that the 25 and the 23 appraisals would cost you. $900 extra per $1 million house. Now you think about how many $1 million houses there are around here. They're not
All of them?
exactly. That's what's happened. They've revalued these things so high.
There's a nice little one-bedroom, one-bath, $1 million home
So
just down the street.
$900 every year you're going to have to pay extra because what they're doing. Unless they go with the Burn solution or a Dunwell solution, then you don't pay that.
So I just want to say,
What the?
Marianne Dunwell and Ed Byrne. Ed's a Republican. I worked with Ed in my previous job for a long time. Good, simple bill.
Oh, yeah.
This is what Rafe and I ran on. Reduce the rate back to what the accountants tell you to reduce it to, so that nobody has to pay any extra tax. It's a simple thing.
Every other governor in Montana's history has done it.
Yeah.
Every one of them.
And I don't get who's okay. Yes, the big corporations are the ones benefiting, and that's why they're doing it. Then
Well,
that's
it's
it.
also the state. Now, let's be
Yeah.
clear. The state,
Well, the
is
state
trying to
gets a bunch of
collect
extra money in the
whole
general fund.
bunch of money,
Yep.
and they need that extra money because they have to balance the budget according to the Constitution. And think about what they're trying to do. They're trying to decrease the top rate income tax rate to attract more people to move here, and they need to balance the budget, so they got to jam some money in there, and they're taking it from middle-class Montana homeowners.
Yeah, that's right.
And I don't get the feeling a lot of people care about it just by watching local news and reading local papers. Like once in a while, you have an editorial. You'll write a good piece for obviously, Mike.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm assuming people read it.
People are busy. I mean, they are
They're
trying
busy.
to
They're
pay
busy.
their
You're right.
bills. They are not paying attention.
That's why we
to
only have
this
6
nonsense.
followers.
Yeah.
And but when these bills hit, people will know.
Yeah.
It
I
has.
guess, but you know what? Look, but they hit They hit 2 years ago. My property taxes have gone insane. Insurance rates have gone insane. I feel like there's nobody in the state of Montana at all helping me.
Well, the governor set up that task force, and he said, "Come on, Democrats, we come together. We're going to figure out the solution." And they came up with this nutty solution where you have to apply to get half your money back, and that was the Democrats doing it to themselves.
Yeah. You have to go buy an abacus to figure out whether you like seriously.
Or have a bake sale.
Yeah.
Get the strategy worked
Abacus
on.
and a bake sale and a seance, and then you decide whether you qualify or not.
Okay, what the fuck are the Democrats going to do? What's going to happen in the next... Because in 1 year from right now, election season is going to heat up. 1 year from right now.
Yeah.
There's some real big elections.
Democrats have to learn how to say no.
They got to learn how to say no, and they got to learn.
Do they got to be less gay?
That. I think that's your personal problem.
Okay, all right, I'll be less gay. I'll try.
Look, I
Not
think
me.
Don't give me any drugs.
Democrats need to understand that 95% of policy is decided on a Tuesday in November, right? So if we don't win
Right.
that, we can get into all this. As I was at this deal with Mike a couple weeks ago, and he got up in front of a bunch of Democrats. He said, "You people need to be a lot less concerned with all this bullshit policy and a lot more concerned with winning." And I think there is a lot of truth to that.
Didn't you also
because-
say the room needed to be younger, or was that you?
Well,
or was that me? I don't
mean,
remember.
The room was old.
It was
Like,
old.
I'm all for that, but we need to understand that winning elections is what a party is about, and then
Yeah.
we fix policies.
Yeah, the job as the party is not policy. The
and
job of
so-
the party is to win elections. Yeah.
Right now, there is far too much of this thought in the Democratic Party, like people value bipartisanship, and we just need to get along, and like no. Dude, that is a
terrible
bygone
idea.
era when both
You're
parties
right.
were quite
Bygone.
similar, right? And right now, there is one party trying to ruin democracy and give a bunch of money to billionaires, and one that ain't. Fucking fight like it.
Ryan,
Fight
what do you? I like that. Ryan, what do you think in your campaign if you were to start off right off and say, "Listen, I don't want to go to the bathroom with your daughter. I don't want my son playing sports with your daughter." Like, what do you think if you started your campaign off that 18 months ago? Because I think about that every once in a while because I hear it and I see it in social media.
He only would have
Democrats are-
lost by 25 instead of 30.
Well, I'm just.
If you need a pick-me-up, ask Ryan over here.
I can't wait till you get to see the look he just gave
all
you.
that crap is coming.
Oh, that's what he's here for.
It's coming no matter what. I mean, when I was running in 2009, they were saying that same crap about
You're
me.
right. You're right.
You
You're
know,
right.
they're just gonna lie and they're gonna make up stuff.
Well, you're a whitefish billionaire liberal.
He is.
Yeah, I can. Yes, that's true. It
He's
is
a
true.
He's a farming baron.
I know your driver.
I thought
He's
it was
gay.
a clothing baron.
Clothing baron. Yes.
I
But
think-
right, Ryan,
but
you know
but
you think about that.
Look, right now the truth is,
Like if you were to run again,
the truth is the National Democratic brand has a lot of ballast on it, right?
It's fucked.
But I just want to give some people some hope for a party that couldn't find its own ass with its own hands, right? Couldn't hit its ass with a banjo. We're about ready to be handed a big gift here. Why? Because you have such irresponsible overreach from this administration. We're about ready to catch our wind, and I hope everybody here is ready to catch the wind.
You sound like the forever optimist Democrat, though. Right now, I'm just saying.
No, I'm a hard.
You've been pretty pessimistic, but you're.
I'm pessimistic, but I am hardcore about winning.
Yeah,
and
I know you are.
And I'm telling you, 8 weeks ago I would have said, "Man, tough times." And because I didn't think the Trump administration was going to do the incredibly disastrous things that they're doing.
Did you? You thought so?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
They're the
I did
dog
not
that's-
think so.
They're the dog that's caught the car. It's like, now what?
I didn't think so.
And it's like, you give them they'll fuck this up.
I thought they'd fucking ease into it a little bit.
No,
Fuck
I
no.
was like,
Day one,
yeah,
you know what it
they are
told
going
me?
to fuck this
It
up.
told me day one. It told me that they know they got 2 years. They're not counting on the House and the Senate in 2 years from now. No. These fucking billionaires, zillionaires, whatever they are, they got to steal as much money from us as they can because
Senate
they only
map
got.
in 2026 is brutal.
Yeah.
It is brutal.
The House map is good.
The House map will be fine, but who gives a shit
House
about
map-
that?
Well,
Not
but the
bad.
Senate map might not be that bad because of like what Ryan just said and
Maybe.
what the fuck they're doing. I mean, if people are seriously watching podcasts instead of CNN and Fox and MSNBC, I think that's only good for America because they are looking at people like this in their local towns where they're listening to people's opinions, people that are candidates, have been candidates, people that are in the know, people that know what they're talking about. They're getting a feel of what's really going on. You know, like I'm going to assume, you know, that some people will say, holy fuck, you know, like I never thought of it this way because Anderson Cooper was telling me this my whole fucking life. Sean Hannity was telling me this my whole fucking life, you know? And no matter what, when you're used to something and you're watching something, you end up trusting something and you believe in something, you know? And now, I don't see a whole lot to believe in out there. Again, I said before, I like Michael Smerconish, I like Dan Abrams, I like Julie Mason. I know nobody knows who these people are. But they're moderate talk show hosts that I listen to.
Yeah, you listen to Sirius.
Serious, yep. That's where I get my Mike Huckabee ads for the Children's Guide to President Trump. Nobody fucking knows about that. So everybody's got to have Sirius XM, I guess, or watch News Nation, which I'm the only person in this town. Because when I tell people that, they're like, what?
Ed, how many bushels of blue pills are you buying off of those ads?
Blue Chew, yeah.
Lots.
But it would be nice if we could focus on some stuff that actually mattered to people.
Yes.
You know, everyone's talking about you got to be this tall to qualify, you got to be this tall to qualify. Let's talk about this fringe issue, that fringe issue.
Yep.
That's the huge, big issue, big problem the Democrats can't seem to figure out is you have to talk to middle Montana.
Yeah.
And is it just
it's
how
the
are we
workers,
not,
it's
though?
the people who are going out there and working every day, the people who have homes, modest homes, you know, you got to figure out how you're going to
What do you do
talk
about the guy that is stuck on Republicans are macho and they love guns and I'm going to be macho? Because honestly, I really, honestly, seriously believe that the Republican Party has this macho-ness, this UFC, this WWE, this Vince
that
McMahon.
stuff's going to be true. That stuff is true. There's no problem with any of that stuff.
How do you switch
But-
these
but
people
we're
saying,
not
like,
trying to
start caring
switch
about your wallet?
100%. We're trying to switch 5%.
Right, 5%, yeah.
5%.
Worry about
That's
your
what we're
wallet,
talking
not your
about.
manhood. How about this?
If we can just get 9,000 people in Pennsylvania to change their mind.
Yeah, that's it.
Swing the election.
That's all it takes. Fucking Pennsylvania, man. My
It's
God.
a great system we've set up. We argue for 4 years, and then 20,000 people in Pennsylvania decide who gets to be
But that's the
president.
same thing.
Yeah.
5% decides the Western District congressional race.
You're right.
5% decides who controls the Montana House of Representatives next session. 5%. That's what we're talking about. And so every time we talk about all that fringe stuff, nobody's listening. Nobody's listening. Everybody's tuned it out.
You're right, and they
Amen.
should.
There's going to be big things that the average centrist voter is not okay with.
Yep.
$901 of their taxes,
Yep.
this, like the national parks being shut down, campgrounds being shut down. I'm telling you, the MAGA guy you're talking about, forget that. You're never going to convert
never
them.
getting him, yeah.
Stop wasting your time. Talk to the centrist voter who is just busy going to work, getting their kids to school,
Yep.
paying their bills. This stuff matters to
And when
them, I'm
something that
telling you.
affects them personally, because honestly, you know, I think a lot of people that, you know, Trump's policies, they kind of like, you know, a lot of your macho, you know, I guess, you know, whatever. But But yeah, if it starts hurting the
UFC
wallet,
ain't gonna pay the property tax bill.
like look at the 2000 recession in 2008. I mean, that doomed Bush bad and the Republicans because it was them, and people do care about their pocketbook. And the thing is, they act like they do now, which is crazy. It's fucking crazy to me, because the last 4 years, in this President's Guide to Donald Trump, the Children's Guide, it talks about Kamala Harris and Joe Biden's administration made the dollar the weakest and in the history, and I'm like, the American dollar has been the strongest the last 3 years. The economy's been pretty fucking bulletproof. No recession, even though Fox News told us every single day that we were going to have a recession any day now.
I've got a little news flash for you, Ed, but this this document is bullshit.
Oh yeah, it is fucking. It's fucked up.
Yeah.
It is fucked up.
No, the
What jobs report?
February jobs report, pretty dismal, coming in at 50% of what they expected.
Oh really?
Look at what
It
happened.
came out today.
No, it comes out Friday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's
It's always the first
50%,
Friday
yeah.
of the month. Yeah.
But and then look what's happening in the stock market. I mean,
Yeah,
all
I know,
the
I'm looking.
gains from the beginning of January gone.
Well,
God.
Elon, Tesla stock, which I'll admit I used to own some, I sold half of it before the election and made some good money on it. I'm like, if he loses, I'll just get rid of it. But if he wins, it's probably going to go up. It went from 310 to 480 in 7 days. It's trading at 265 right now. Yeah.
It's only overvalued by about 266
A
bucks.
lot. Because people are boycotting it big time. But here's what it tells me. He doesn't give a fuck. He is a lunatic saying crazy shit on talk shows with the president in the Oval Office, knowing that Tesla stock is going to fucking sink. Knowing that, that President Trump wants to get rid of these tax incentives to buy electric cars. None of it matters to him. Why? Space fucking X.
I
And
just
his
want
government contracts.
everybody to know how weird the world we live in, right? You got a dude who is eating ketamine by the bushel
Yes.
and
Yeah.
marching around the Oval Office in what appears to be a 1939 German tank commander outfit with a kid on his shoulders with a gold chain, okay?
Using his child as a human shield, it appears to be.
Exactly. Hey, you got anything else for us, Mike?
I don't know. I mean, there's plenty of stuff to talk about, but
I know. Well, before we break, is there anything important you want to talk about? We can save it till next week. Next week we got Riley Summers Flanagan on from Upper 7 Law.
She is a superstar.
She's fucking cool. They're doing the Constitutional
Superstar.
Roadshow. And for all the rednecks out there that love to carry the Constitution in their pocket, and they're all about the Constitution, and they're also all about sucking Trump's dick, there's got to be, something's got to happen to these people. Because they got to understand there's a big separation from our Constitution and President fucking Trump.
So anybody who's thinking about being here, Riley Flanagan is a badass. She is a defender of our Constitution, both federally and in the state. She's running an awesome law firm, Upper 7 Law.
Do a lot of good.
Like she's the real deal.
And she wins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
she's
Oh, they're
awesome.
beating the
She
shit out of the
wins,
state, man.
yeah.
They are.
You did catch that representative from Hamilton who quit, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, Mitchell or no, not Mitchell.
Marshall, maybe.
Marshall.
He
Yep.
quit on that vape issue.
Lobbyists are, yeah, because he owned vape
It's
shops.
a sea of lobbyists.
I don't know
up
if you
here.
guys knew this. This is a great thing to end on. We had a
Yeah.
representative from Hamilton straight up quit the legislature. Said, "I'm resigning as of today. The lobbyists own Montana, own you, and the people have no say."
I mean, he's not too far from the truth.
No, he's not.
750 lobbyists for 150 representatives.
That
That's a pretty big balance.
In a
difference.
little place like this, Mike, it is
Yeah.
pretty sad.
But
It
you know,
is.
he quit because I happened to watch the hearing that he quit over, one of the hearings, and it had to do with the vape juice coming from China. That's not regulated by the FDA.
At all.
They're firing all the FDA people, so now they want them to regulate the vape juice. And there's only a few corporations that they allow regulation on this stuff. And so all these vape juice coming in that these kids are smoking, it's not regulated. It's
Not at
coming
all.
From China, and these guys are making big bucks on it. And that was one of the reasons that he got a little upset that they were kind of going after his biz, I think.
Because who cares if it's killing the kids that are buying it from him? He's making money, right? I mean, fuck. What's wrong with that? Little
That's a
entrepreneurialism?
little dark there, brother.
Yeah.
I know. Hey, I sell vapes too. I'm sorry.
Yes, he does.
Thanks a lot, you guys. Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Ryan.
No, appreciate it.
Ryan, we want to have you back whenever you can, too, for sure.
Yeah, let's do it.
And join us next week for Riley Summers Flanagan. And thanks, Tamarack Beer. We love